Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm finally doing a Sephora haul update. I do have a few other products that I haven't mentioned in a Sephora haul or in a video that are really new. The first thing I talk about is like super new. I've only used once, so I'm kind of gonna be giving you some updates, and then a couple things are like my first few thoughts on these products. So yeah, make sure to subscribe down below, give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it. If you want to see my updated thoughts on these products, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I wanted to get this up because the Sephora sale for VIB Rouge I think starts October 28th, which is next Friday. So like, well, as I'm filming this, it's next Friday, but so I wanted to get this up so that you can kind of have thoughts and just kind of hear some opinions on these products before you purchase them. And yeah, I think it starts next Friday, but I keep seeing like different dates, so who knows. But anywho, we're just gonna get started. So the first thing I want to mention is I literally just got this a few days ago. I have used it twice now because I used it today and I used it on Saturday. So these are the Charlotte Tilbury Beautifying Face Palettes. Like, the outside packaging is so pretty. It's definitely luxe. These are pretty pricey. I think they're $75 a piece, so very pricey. There was like a coupon you could use. I don't know if it's still going. I got like 10% or 15% off. I can't remember, but I will have these linked down below. I know that they're available on Sephora. I don't know if they're available still on Charlotte Tilbury's website. I would not advise getting them on Charlotte Tilbury's website. These took forever to get here. I can't exactly. I think it took me a little bit over 2 weeks to get these, and that is insane. If you got these on Sephora, the shipping would not be nearly as long, at least for me. Like, I get my Sephora packages really fast, so, or at least a lot faster than 2 weeks. So I would definitely advise to get them on Sephora. I know a lot of people have had problems with theirs getting lost or taking forever to show up like mine did. So definitely for the shipping part of it, I would go to Sephora. But for the actual part, I got the medium to deep one and the fair light one. I feel like if you have light skin tone, you could honestly use either one of these. So you get two blushes, a sheen like shimmery blush, and then a highlighter in both palettes. I almost feel like the medium one is a little bit warmer and then this one's a little bit cooler, but I really do like these. I've been enjoying them. Today I used this one and I topped it with a little bit of this, and then I did use a little bit of another blush that I'm going to talk about. But yeah, I haven't used, actually I think I used a little bit of this one on Saturday, and then I haven't used this highlight, and then on Saturday I just mixed these two, and I think I might have used the whole palette. I topped it with this shimmery one, and then I can't remember if I used the highlight or not. But one thing I will say about these is they're a little hard pressed, so you don't have to worry about going overboard with these. That's why I feel like even if you have fair to light skin, you can still use the medium to deep one. I think this one's called. Yeah, medium to deep. You could still use this because they're very, I don't know how to explain it. They're hard pressed. They're not super powdery to where they're a lot of pigment. Normally the harder pressed they are, the less pigment there is. So you kind of really got to build it up. If you're going to use these, I would use a brush. I would use a brush like this, something that's a little bit denser packed and not so like fluffy. Like this one is a lot more like fluffy and kind of just top. So I'll use it with maybe like the shimmer ones, but definitely for the matte ones, use something a little bit denser because that's actually going to pick up the product. If you use something like this, it's going to take you forever to get any product out. I know that since they're not super pigmented, that might be a lot of people's complaints, but that isn't a complaint for me, only because sometimes with blushes, they can get very heavy-handed very fast, and it can be kind of hard to work with, hard to blend out, and it's just too much pigment at once. So I kind of like that these are more of a buildable formula, and even though I'm saying that they don't have a ton of pigment, you can build these up and you will get your pigment. I mean, let me just add a little bit more. Like, see how I'm saying, like, they definitely add color, but I kind of like that it's not like bam in your face color, because I think these would be great for different, even if you're just starting out with blush and you just want to try something. Now these are pretty pricey, so I feel like these would be a good Christmas gift maybe. Maybe wait and see if Charlotte Tilbury has a Black Friday sale. Get them during the Sephora 20% off sale. I would definitely wait and get a sale on these, but these, I honestly am really enjoying them. Again, I've only used them twice, so I will keep updating you on my thoughts, but so far I am really enjoying them. Blush, so this is kind of random, but this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Skin Intuitive 12-Hour Blush. So this one is supposed to be kind of like the Dior. This is the closest dupe I have ever found to the Dior blush. I will show you. Okay, so this is the Tarte one, and this is the Dior one. Look at those. These literally are like the exact same color. They both have that pH formula where they're supposed to like how do you describe it? Like they're supposed to custom to your skin. A custom? Was that the right word? I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. How the Dior one is supposed to look different on every single person because it's supposed to mix with your pH and be like your perfect blush pretty much. That's exactly what this one is supposed to do. Don't be afraid of these pink blushes. I'm telling you, they look so pretty, and just like a flush of like baby pink is just so cute, especially like the winter time. Like, so if you cannot get your hands on Dior, I think this is $29, but you can also if you order it on Tarte, there's like a 15% off coupon you can get. This isn't available on Sephora yet. I got it on Tarte, but it might not be available anymore. I know that this one was like an early release, so they released like a select few to launch in in October, so you could get that now, but I think that it ended up selling out or they took it off. But it is supposed to come back in November, so I think it's supposed to be like early November. They're supposed to bring this back for like the full release, so if it's not available on their website now, it should be available in November. So if you can't get your hands on the Dior, or you don't want to pay for the Dior, I would definitely try out the Tarte one. This is the closest thing I have found to a dupe. Okay, so next, so this is the Patrick Ta Major Headlines Blush Palette Volume 2. So this palette is different from the last one. This one's a lot more subdued, a lot more subtle. If you have medium to deep skin, I would probably skip this one. Now, if you are dying for this palette and you have medium to deep skin, you can definitely use it, but you're definitely gonna have to build up the colors because they're just a little bit, they're just more subtle light colors. I don't know. But it does have a highlight, 2 blushes, and they're all a shimmery sheen formula. So the cream blushes have like a little bit of like a shimmer in it, and then the blushes all have, the blushes and the highlighter, obviously they all have shimmer in it as well. Even though they do have like a shimmer in it, they do not show up glittery. They don't look like texture enhancing on the skin. I really do like the blushes. The highlighter is not my favorite. The cream one is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with the cream highlighter. It's just a clear based cream highlighter. It's just nothing special. I wouldn't like, if we re-release these in singles, I don't think I would run out to buy them because I don't use cream highlighters as much as I use liquid highlighters. So like the one I'm going to mention soon, I use that one a lot more than I use this one. There's just, I don't know, like it's a pretty highlight. It gives you that like glossy dewy look, but I don't think it's like anything to like write home about. Like it's nothing like special or anything. And then I feel like the powder highlight is just a little chunky for my liking. Like it's a little glittery, it's a little chunky. I don't love the highlighter part, but the 2 blushes I have been using a lot, especially like this baby pink, because it's just like this light baby pink that has just this really pretty lip from within glow. I think it is so pretty. I don't know. I've been using this a lot. This one is a lot more, if you got the last year's holiday palette, those were super pigmented. Now those were definitely bolder shades, which again, if you have medium deep skin, I would probably get those shades. You can get them as singles. But the palette, okay, I really like the colors in it, and of course his formula is amazing, but those are a lot more pigmented than any of his other blushes that I've tried. I don't know what it, I guess it's just for their bolder. I don't really know, but they were definitely pigmented. I had to use a super light hand with the first blush palette. The first blush palette. So you definitely don't need to use a light hand with this one. These are a lot more sheer and a lot more buildable, which again, I really don't mind that. But if you have deeper skin tone, I just think that it's going to be a lot of work to get this to build up when you can just use a different blush, and it's expensive. So I like this blush palette. I just wish it didn't have the highlight in it because I just don't love the highlight, but the blushes I have been using a lot recently. Okay, so I'm kind of just like going all over the place here, so I'm just gonna pull from like, I don't know, I'm just gonna like talk about things. So the next thing is the Hourglass Lighting Blush and Sublime Flush. So I have been really liking this. How much blush do I have on? Okay, I have on too much blush to be putting on another one. But these are really, really nice. I honestly really like these for like every day, or like, I don't, oh, I actually put that over that cream highlight. It's a very subtle blush. Again, I don't know what is going on, but it's a very like soft blush. This one is again more buildable. It's kind of has like a warm, like the main base is kind of like a warm like corally kind of shade, and then they have like streaks of like a lilac kind of shade going through it. So I feel like that kind of cools it down a little bit, but I really do like it. I like the formula on this. I like that it kind of gives you like a nice, like it's not matte, but it's not shimmery. Like it's not like the Patrick Ta where it's like shimmery. It just gives you like a little bit of something. Like it doesn't make your skin like flat. It just gives you just this very natural flush to the skin. I think for brides this would be really pretty, which I am getting married next fall, so who knows? It might make the cut, we'll see. But I think it'd be very pretty for brides, for someone who likes just a natural flush of color. This is super pretty. I would recommend getting this during all of this I'm mentioning. I would wait till the Sephora sale to get if you want some money off. But yeah, I really, really like this. It's used by a lot of makeup artists, and I'd be intrigued to get some different colors. But I have been really loving this, especially for my like natural days. And then another thing that I have been loving for my natural makeup days, well actually the next two things, this Hourglass Lighting Bronze Nude Bronze Light. Again, a lot of makeup artists love this. A lot of people love to use this on their wedding day because it's just a very light bronzer. Like it just gives you a nice flush of color. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, and it just gives you this subtle little bit of color to the skin while adding some glow. This would be great for like summertime, vacation, even though we're going into like fall, winter, but still it would just be like a really pretty like everyday blush. I think this would be great for someone who's younger, just getting into makeup, even though this is expensive, so maybe not you, but just someone who likes a natural little bit of like a bronze color to the skin while not going too crazy with it, and it gives you a nice glow. Like all the Hourglass ones, I don't know how to explain the glow that they give, because they do give you that like healthy like natural glow to the skin, but they're not shimmery in any way, shape, or form. And like even putting it on my hands, like it's hard to see the glow on my hand, but I don't know how to explain it. It just like goes on your face, and it just like melts into the skin really pretty. So even though these are pricey, I definitely, if you're wanting to splurge, you want to pick these up, I definitely think that they're worth the money. The next thing that, again, I like to use this for my, I've been using this a lot when I'm just wanting to like quickly do my makeup, just do a light makeup. So this is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in the shade Light. So this is not like a typical cream bronzer, and the reason I say that is because they're very sheer. Like you could use this, like that literally just like blended into my skin. Like you could use this on, like if you literally have not even a speckle of makeup on, you could use this just to add some color to the face. If you're doing a light makeup, you could use this to add some color to the face. If you're doing like a full glam, this is just a very easy cream bronzer. I feel like if you're someone starting off with cream bronzer and you're a little scared of it, go for something like this, something that's a little bit more sheer, buildable, because even though this is a very sheer bronzer, it is definitely buildable. Like, you can build this up to be a full-on cream bronzer, but if you're someone who likes a little bit of just more natural light cream bronzer, you don't want anything crazy, nothing that you really have to worry about going overboard with, this is going to be your best friend, because this is probably the sheerest cream bronzer that I've ever used. Like, it just gives you this softest kiss of color. Since we're on the topic of bronzers, I have two more. So I have the House Labs Powder Sculpt Velvet Bronzer, and this is in the shade Light Level 1. So this is from her rebrand. This is definitely pricey. I want to say it's $42, $45, which for a powder bronzer is a lot. So this is just a matte bronzer. This doesn't have any shimmer to it, any glow. It's literally just a matte bronzer. For one, I love the packaging on this. I love like the soft touch matte feel within like the copper around it. I just think it looks so pretty. And then you have like the little H embossed into it. This is a very nice cream bronzer. Is it an all-time fave? No, it's just not. I like the formula. I like that it's a very soft, almost like creamy to the touch bronzer. That I do really like about it. I think it's a really nice bronzer. I think it blends really well on the skin. There is literally nothing wrong with this bronzer. It's just a very high price tag. If you want to splurge on this bronzer, I definitely say go for it. You're gonna love it. It's a very nice bronzer. I've never had any problems with it. It looks very nice on the skin. And I will say it looks really deep. It looks really deep in the pan, but it's definitely not that deep like on the skin. So yeah. And this one, this is light level 1, so this is the cooler one. And I think light level 2 is the warmer one. I don't know. But yeah, I really do like it. Again, if you have the money, you want to splurge on it, again, go for it. It's a very nice bronzer. I just feel like there's nothing special about it, I guess. Like, it works really nice, but there's a lot of bronzers that are cheaper that work just as good. So yeah, that's my thought. And then the last thing, I think this, no, I have one, oh my goodness, I have two more cream bronzers. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer in the shade 1 Fair. So this is huge. This is definitely pricey. I think it's $50, $52. I can't remember, but this is a huge amount of products. I mean, let me just compare it to the Makeup by Mario. Like, this is a lot of bronzer. I will give her that. And I have been loving this bronzer. Loving it. This is a bronzer that you could use over powder. You could use it underneath powder. It's kind of like that cream to powder formula. So if you're someone who doesn't like to set their face, you would probably really like this bronzer because it kind of sets itself. It's kind of more of like a thicker, like, I don't want to say moussier, but in a way. But yeah, it like sets itself. It's just that cream to powder formula. Super easy to work with. I love that it's like a neutral shade. Like, it's not too warm, it's not too cool. It's just that perfect neutral shade. Super easy to work with. I would definitely recommend picking this up during the Sephora sale. I have been loving it. It's very hard to get your hands on. This shade in particular, surprisingly, is sold out like constantly. But yeah, I have been really enjoying that bronzer. Last two bronzers, and then we can finally move on to something else. So we have the Rare Beauty, I don't know, bronzer stick. I have mine in the shade Power Boost. So I have been really liking this too. This is a really nice bronzer stick. It's really easy to work with, super blendable. This one I actually just draw on my face, which I never really do, but I don't know. It's just so easy to work with that I can do that. Very creamy, very blendable. I really enjoy this bronzer. I definitely think that you should pick it up. It's worth the money. Well, okay. I have one complaint, and that is the shades. The shades are super hard to figure out. I couldn't figure out if I want a Happy Soul or if I want a Power Boost. I ended up going Power Boost, so if you can find a shade that works for you, definitely pick it up, try it out. It's a really nice bronzer stick. This is a true bronzer stick in the fact that it's super warm. Like, even the cool shades are pretty warm, so it's, if you have a Sephora close to you, maybe look at the shades in store. I don't have one close to me, so I have to buy it online, but yeah. This is a really nice cream bronzer, again, if you can just find your shade. Next, we have the Fenty Beauty Matchstick, and this is one of the new shades in Soft Amber. So, here's my thoughts. This is a good cream bronzer. I think that they've reformulated. I know everyone used to say that the matchsticks were really dry, really hard to work with. They didn't blend out really well. They were just very stiff. So I think they did change it because I don't have any problems blending this one out. I don't have any problems with it being too dry. It's a very nice cream bronzer. You can draw it on. You can do it on the back of your hand, however you like to do it. I definitely think that it's really nice, and I like the shades that she came out with. My only problem is when I did my first impression, I kept saying I really like the color. I like that even though it's kind of more of a yellow based cream bronzer, it's still not pulling too warm or yellow on my face. But when I watched back the footage, I kind of didn't like the color as much. It was kind of pulling a little bit yellow. So I don't know. I wish this color was just a little bit, I don't know, like when I swatch it, I really do like it. And I like the color. But for some reason, it's just like, in person I really liked it on, but on the camera it just looked too warm. So I don't know, I'm gonna keep playing with it. So far the formula is really nice. It's just I don't know if I'm obsessed with that color yet. Moving on from bronzers, so we're gonna go ahead and do this. I have one more blush to talk about. This is the House Labs Bio Radiant Gel Powder Highlighter in the shade Rose Quartz. So I got this as like a blush topper. So this is actually a highlight, but it's just like a nice like pinky blush shade. It is super pretty. I really do like this. I have been loving a blush topper lately, and like using like a matte blush and then topping it with more of a glowy blush. So this was like right up my alley. I love the packaging. Yeah, I really do like this. I love the formula. It's a nice creamy formula. Her bronzer and this highlighter formula is a very nice creamy like powder formula. I will say the other highlighter shades I've heard are not that great, so I don't know, but this one as a blush topper is super pretty. Then I have two cream highlighters to talk about. This is the Rare Beauty Liquid Luminizer in the shade Enchant and Enlighten. So I first bought Enlighten, and it's just like a pearly champagne color. Super pretty if you have fair skin. And then I seen this one and I was like, So this, I ended up picking up this one whenever I bought the Dream palette, the Natasha Denona Dream palette. So this is just like a pinky kind of shade. I thought I could use this again as like a blush topper, mix it in with a cream blush, use it as like a highlight. So yeah, I have been loving these enough to buy another shade. I really like the formula. You get a ton of product. I mean, this would take me forever to go through. I feel like even if you're using this every single day, it's going to take you forever to go through. You get 0.50 fluid ounces, which I feel like that's pretty good. But yeah, I have been obsessed with these. I love that they give you that glow to the skin. Like, the one thing I do like about cream liquid highlighters is they just give you like this glow to the skin that doesn't look glittery, that just looks like you're glowing from within because it's just sinking into the skin. So I actually use these over powder, because if I did these under powder, I would just lose it because I'm covering it up with powder. So I'll just put a little bit on the back of my hand, take my two fingers, and then I'll just rub it on, mix it really, really well into the skin, and I'll just pat it in really lightly. It blends out beautifully for me. I never have patchy. I never have it picking up on the skin. I just think if you're going to use these, the easiest way is to do it on the back of your hand and then tap it in with your fingers, because I feel like drawing it might cause things to lift or just not blend out super easily. So I have been obsessed with these. So I don't know if I've mentioned this. So this is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Perfector 4-in-1 Glow. So this is the shade Fair Light. This is supposed to be a primer, concealer, highlighter, BB cream. So it's kind of supposed to be like the Charlotte Tilbury, where it's like a multi-use product that just adds a little bit of coverage and a little bit of some glow. So I definitely don't think this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, because the Charlotte Tilbury I feel like is much glowier and they're just not the same to me. I don't know. There's something different about these. I do like this. I definitely feel like this is someone who wants just a little bit of glow maybe. Because I'll use this underneath my foundation or after primer. If I'm not going to wear foundation, I'll just kind of put it on the high points of my face. I don't put these like glowy products in my T-zone because I do get oily in my T-zone. But yeah, I do like this. If you're thinking this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, it's definitely not. But this still is a really good product if you want something like a little bit less glowy than the Charlotte Tilbury. Then I have two foundations. So I first have the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation in the shade Ambient 1. So this is definitely a thicker foundation. A little bit goes a long way with this. I would definitely say this is a medium to full coverage. I use maybe like a half a pump and I get a medium coverage with it. I do like this foundation, but I'm not obsessed with it. There's just something about it that I'm not obsessed with the way that it looks. I don't know, like it looks good on the skin. I like other ones more. I definitely think a little bit, I've learned my lesson with this foundation and the fact that a little bit goes a long way. So maybe do like a little bit of time to build it up, because I put too much on the first time. And was it the first time? Yeah. And I did kind of feel like it looked a little bit heavy, a little bit makeup-y as the day went on. I felt like it was not wearing the best. But once I do like lighter layers with it, because again, I prefer a medium coverage and I'm not used to such a thick foundation anymore. Like I'm just used to like more liquidy ones. So this one almost comes out like a mousse. Like it's definitely a thicker formula. So that's my advice with this one, is a little bit goes a long way. If you like medium to full coverage with just a little bit of glow, I think you'll like this one. It's definitely soft glow, so it's not too glowy, but yeah, it's kind of like a thicker version of NARS Sheer Glow, now that I'm thinking about it. So yeah, not an absolute favorite of mine, but it's good. Then the last foundation is the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear Care and Glow. I have mine in the shade 120N. This is not my shade. Okay, that is my one complaint with Lancome, is their shades are kind of hard to figure out. They can be a little inconsistent with shades, and I feel like they tend to run deep. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Like I feel like they tend to run deep, so I tend to get a lighter shade than what I really need, but obviously this time I did not do that. So yeah, but other than that, I really do like this foundation. I feel like this one is glowier than this one, and this one is much thinner. I feel like this is a medium coverage foundation. You can build it up to full or you can kind of sheer it out, but I definitely feel like it's a medium coverage, maybe medium to buildable. So I have been really liking this. Lancome foundations wear really, really well on me. I have the matte one. That one wears really well on me. This one wears really well. I feel like it just looks like second skin. Between these two, I like this one a lot more than this one. So yeah, I have been really liking this Lancome foundation. Okay, and then I have just a couple more products. So I have two concealers. I have the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Luminous Matte Concealer. So this is in the shade Royal Icing 1.1N. I have been really enjoying this concealer. Super easy to work with, very blendable. yeah, it's just a really easy concealer to work with. I was afraid that whenever I bought this, it was going to be like the Faux Filter foundation. And that one is like a thick, full coverage, dry down matte foundation. And oddly enough, the concealer is like complete opposite. I actually feel like this is more of like a medium concealer that you can build up to full. Like I put a little bit here, a little bit here, and I blend that out. And I will normally, like I did today, I went back and put just a little bit more here just to cover up the darkness. So I would say it's like medium to buildable. Obviously, depending on how much you use will depend on how much coverage you get, but I think the coverage on this is really nice. I think it's very easy to work with, great for full glam, great for every day. It's a very nice concealer and complete opposite from the foundation if you didn't like the foundation. And then the next one is the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Light Illuminating Smoothing Concealer. I don't like this. Like, it's an okay concealer, but it's not that great. I feel like it's definitely, like it says, it's like illuminating, so I don't wear it on its own because I feel like on its own it can kind of look a little oily throughout the day, so that I don't love. I don't love the doe foot because it barely picks up any product. Like, I mean barely picks up any product. I just don't love the formula on this. It's definitely more of a sheer medium coverage. You can't build this up. I have tried to actually build this up when I wore it on its own, and I didn't feel like it was really building up, to be honest. I don't know. This is definitely more of a sheer, maybe medium coverage. I was using it almost as like on top of other concealers, so I would like maybe put this one on, and then instead of doing another one of this one, I would just put this one on like kind of in like the high points of my face, like here. But obviously that's extra and you don't need to do that. I don't feel like this concealer is worth it. I would skip this one. The Too Faced Born This Way, like their other concealer, is much better. I just don't like this one. And then last couple products. So I have the Summer Fridays Shade Drops Broad Spectrum SPF 30. This is the Mineral Milk Sunscreen. Yeah, I've been really enjoying this. I'm all ready to like here, I think. So it is SPF 30 for me. SPF 30 is not like for every single day. I like to use something with a higher SPF. As you know, I've mentioned it multiple times on my channel. I love the Ulta MD one. That one is SPF 46, but you can't get that at Sephora. But I thought everyone was raving about this one. I really wanted to try it out, and I thought, you know what, for underneath makeup, I feel like this would be really great so that I could just save my Ulta MD one for when I'm not wearing makeup and just to use as like an everyday sunscreen, or use this one to like top that one off like later on in the day. So yeah, this is a really nice sunscreen. If you have oily skin, acne prone skin, this one is really good for you. If you have dry skin, you might not love this. I don't feel like it's like drying on me, but I do have oily skin. Sunscreens tend to break me out really easily. Like the Supergoop one, I hated that one. It broke me out so badly and it made me literally like a grease ball. So this one is really nice. I really like this one. It doesn't leave like a weird greasy film on your face. It kind of just sinks into the skin and you kind of just like don't even really feel it anymore. It's a very thin, milky consistency like it says, and it's really great for underneath makeup. Obviously with any skincare, any sunscreen, before you let it sit on your face for like 5 minutes at least before you put on makeup. I just feel like that will help with like, if you're having peeling, it might not be the product, and you might just be putting on your makeup too soon after skincare or after sunscreen. So just keep that in mind, to let every skincare product, every sunscreen soak into the skin before you put on makeup. Last two products are the Rare Beauty matte lipsticks. I have Worthy and I have Bold. So I feel like I've actually wore Bold more than I have Worthy. These are really nice lipsticks. They're just kind of like a creamy matte formula. They don't dry down to like a super matte, but they still kind of have more of like a creamy matte formula. So these aren't going to be super long lasting. Obviously they're bullet lipsticks. They're just like standard bullet lipsticks, but I really like the colors on these. I think the formula is really nice. I love the packaging, and yeah, they're nice Okay, that is everything I want to update you on. Oh wait, I never mentioned this. I literally just remembered. So this is the Natasha Denona Dream Palette. I mean, there's nothing else to say other than I love it. Like, I love Natasha Denona formula. I've never had a problem with it. If you want to splurge on a high-end palette, I definitely say go for Natasha Denona. I love the shimmer formulas. I love the duochrome shade. I love the kind of like glitter toppers. I love her mattes. I love her cream to matte formula, her regular matte formula. Her formulas are amazing. I definitely think that they're worth the money. I know that a lot of people are comparing this to the Retro and the, what was the other one? The one I literally use all the time. Oh, Glam Palette. I definitely don't think any of those are similar to this. This one is much warmer. And yeah, like you can get like a cool tone look, you can do a warm tone look, you go like purple, full glam, natural, whatever. So yeah, I have been really loving this palette. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. I knew I was gonna like it because it's Natasha Denona. So yeah, that is everything I wanted to mention. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on these products, if you're gonna pick up any of these products, what you're getting the Sephora sale, what videos you want to see before the Sephora sale. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.